Yes, hello there. Good to see you. Hey, and welcome to another brand new series of Art Attack. And I promise you, it's going to be worth the wait, because I've got some fantastic stuff lined up here. Take a look at this, look. How's about a clever way of turning paper into a balloon? And an individual way to write your initials? And see how fire and metal can turn into a fantastic art attack. Now, are you one of those people, like me, always leaving your CDs and DVDs out of the box because you can never find the box? In fact, I can never find the CD I want because they end up all over the house. What you need is a CD or DVD rack, but one with a difference. And here he is, a prehistoric Rackosaurus, the perfect place to store your CDs and DVDs. And this one holds about 30 CDs or DVDs. And there's even somewhere to store your headphones. Look at that. And now he really does look chilled out. Simple to make in 4 easy parts. A 4-part attack. First part, cut a strip of cardboard box card for the backbone. Put this to one side for a moment because you'll need to make the ribs first. So take some more cardboard box card and starting at the bottom edge, draw an arch shape. Make it about 12 centimetres high and 12 centimetres wide and thicken up your arch by about 1 centimetre, then cut it out. And you need to make about 10 ribs in all. So now you've got all of your ribs that make the rack part of your Rackosaurus. But before you attach them to the backbone, it's a good idea to make them a bit more 3D. Now the idea is to scrunch up a double-page spread of newspaper and tape it along the length of the backbone. Use plenty of tape for this. Then make lots more thin newspaper twists and pad out the ribs. Bend the twists around the arch shape of the ribs, taping as you go. Again, lots of tape. And you can always trim off any excess paper. When you've padded out all of your ribs in this way, start to tape them into position along the backbone. And again, use plenty of tape to keep them in place. And the idea is to leave a couple of centimetres between each one. And when you've taped them all, you'll have something that looks like this. And you can see I've taped them along about 2/3 of the backbone because this part is his tail. And it's important that you leave the gaps between the ribs so there's room for your CDs and DVDs. So, OK, that's the rack part of your Rackosaurus. Now you need to add on all the details. For the head, scrunch up a ball of newspaper that's about the size of a grapefruit and again put lots of tape on it to keep it into place. Then scrunch up a second ball that's about half the size and tape this onto the first one to make a sort of snout. Then tape the whole of the head to the end of the backbone. Roll up another small bit of newspaper for a leg and tape on 3 newspaper claws and make 4 in this way. Tape 2 to just behind the back of the head and the other 2 at the top of the tail. And then just bend them into position when you've taped them. Wrap more little twists of newspaper around the tail to make it more like a knobbly backbone. Then add some extra detail on the face like 2 newspaper rings for nostrils. And how about little cardboard squares on top of a strip of tape? And they make good sticky out teeth. And then cut 2 card eyelids and stick those on too. Yeah, so now he's really beginning to take shape. And remember, use lots of tape to keep all these bits firmly in position. So now there's just a few more finishing touches. To make your Rackosaurus more solid, mix some PVA glue half and half with water and paste on a layer of kitchen paper all over your Rackosaurus. On it goes in the usual way, making sure that you go over all of the joins. When you've covered the whole thing and he's dry, give him a coat of cream paint. Just slap it on all over. And then add some darker cream in the shaded areas to make the details stand out. And when you've painted the whole thing and it's dry, you can, if you want, pick out some little bits of detail like I've done here with a black permanent marker just around his eyes. Then it's just a case of slotting your CDs and DVDs between his ribs and storing your headphones on his head like that. Look at that. He looks like he died happy listening to his favourite tunes. Try it yourself. Arachosaurus. Here I am in an ordinary country village. Or is it? Well, stick around and find out. Because things around here aren't quite what they seem. See what I mean? And just one more thing. Me. Ah! Help! Have you got a monogram? No? Well, you should have. What are they? These are monograms. They are your initials all interwoven into a really fancy design. They're very ornate and you get them on personalised letters, important documents, and the rich and famous have them printed on, well, nearly everything. They're a sort of logo for royalty. They look fantastic and they're great fun to design. So, why should the rich and famous have all the fun? I think you and I need our own monogram. So let's start with your initials. Now, it doesn't matter what letters they are, but make it look curvy. Now, it can be capital or small letters, but just make it out of curvy lines like that. Now, I'm doing a curvy N, and you can extend bits of it, so one side's longer. Then just weave another of your initials onto the first one. Now, you can do it next to it, or underneath it, or on top of it, or maybe even on the side like that, just overlapping. Yeah, that's looking good. Now to get fancy, just extend some of these lines with curvy spirals. Now I'll show you what I mean. There's a curvy spiral there, and there's another curvy spiral there. And it's just a case of picking the ends of some of these letters, and watch this, right the way over there like that. And just keep going. Then thicken up some of the lines by doubling them up. So I'm going to take that up there, like that, and maybe that one all the way across there. You could even thicken up some of these curves. Then colour in the thick bits of these letters. And as you're doing it, you can always add on other little bits if you think it needs it. I'll put another little curve in there, I think, little spiral. And there it is, my own very fancy monogram. And once you've designed your own monogram, you can have great fun deciding on what colour scheme it's going to be. I've tried several different styles for mine. How's about this one? I've done a red one, and I've painted this using a brush in the same style. This is the same style, only I've coloured it in with dots. And on this one, I've really tied the two letters together and used two different colours. Try it yourself. Curve your initials, weave them together, add on some fancy curls and loops, all to create your own personalised monogram, because you never know. One day, you may be rich, famous, or even marry royalty. You know, you can draw pictures in all sorts of ways, with pencils, pens, chalk, paint. But here's an artist that draws pictures in a really unusual way, with metal. Check this out.
Oh, cooey.
Do you know what? I think three of the most important things in art are style, style, and style. I'm always saying it. develop your own individual creative style. And when I look through all the work that you send in to me that's in my Art Attack gallery, I see tons of it. Take a look at this lot. Now just take a look at this cute chick that Sophie's painted. Her simple brush strokes capture the fluffiness of its feathers really well. And how about this pencil picture by Henry? It's brilliant. I particularly like the way he's only used colour on the trees and the flag, and that castle still stands out behind them. And this is a brilliant art attack between Louis and Neve. It's got a great sense of perspective, and they've been really creative with their materials. Felt tip pen on cloth. And this is an original idea from Helen. She's cut around her fish and decorated it on both sides, so when it's hung up, it looks brilliant whichever way you look at it. Yeah, great fish mobile from Helen, and that's given me an idea for a mobile with a difference. Try this. Take some thin coloured card and draw a long, thinnish oval, like that, and then cut this out, so you have something that looks like that, and then snip off a few centimetres at one end, and then use this as a template to draw around and cut out 5 more of these shapes so that you have 6 in all. Now join all of these pieces together. Make a hole in the curved end of each of your card pieces by pushing a sharp pencil through it into some modelling clay. And when you've done this to all the pieces, join them together using a split pin. Now, this can be quite fiddly, so just take your time. Make sure the pin goes through all of the holes, like that. Told you it was fiddly. And then open the pin out. Then fan the pieces out into a circle. Just open them out like that to create a rough circle. And then turn it over and take any 2 of the sections that are next to each other, curl them up and tape the ends together at an angle, like that. Then take your next section and again curl that round and tape that to the ends. And the idea is to keep going like this with all your pieces until a balloon shape is made. Then cut 6 equal lengths of thread and tape them inside the hole where each of the sections join. Again, this can be a bit fiddly. And when you've done that, find a small box or cut the end off a longer box and tape the ends of the thread to the inside of your box at equal distances. And when you finish taping, you'll have a hot air balloon. And it's a good idea to put some modelling clay inside the basket to give it some weight, and you can tape that in as well. And I've even painted the box. Then tie some cotton around the split pin at the top and you can hang it up. Look at that, away it goes. And they look great if you do a few of them in different sizes and colours. And I've even hung some lumps of cotton wool to look like clouds. You could even put some people in your baskets. Look at that, little cardboard people. Try it yourself, balloon mobiles. And don't forget, you can check out the website for fact sheets on this and all the other art attacks in the show. And I will see you next time. Ta-ra!